John, a college friend of mine, always told me that he wanted to go to medical school since before he could remember. But there were warning signs early on that medical school wasn't for him. He volunteered at a local hospital because, as he said, it's what you need to do in order to go to medical school. But he said he didn't really enjoy the experience. John also had a minor in psychology because he really enjoyed the courses. He even mentioned doing a double major in biology and psychology if he could fit it in. He said that the biology major was needed because it's what you have to do in order to get into medical school. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to do his psychology minor because he had to retake some classes for the biology major. Senior year, he found out that he could major in anything and still get into medical school. So I asked him, why don't you just major in psychology since you were interested in it? At this point, he said he was already too far in the major, that he needed to finish right away in order to graduate and move on to medical school. I remember how happy he was when he finally got into medical school. But even in his celebration, I could tell he had mixed feelings. He would mention all the things that he wanted to do that he just couldn't do during the undergrad. He even told me that he wasn't even sure if he wanted to be a doctor anymore. That a big part of it was because his parents wanted him to. I told him maybe you should defer your acceptance. Get a job or an internship. Try to figure out what you really want to do. But he said he was already too far in it. That if he was going to be a doctor, more specifically a surgeon, he needed to go right away so that he wouldn't be 30 by the time he could practice. Suffice to say, he went to medical school. I didn't really hear from him until about 4 years later. And the funny part? He was in a master's program for psychology. Turned out it was something he was really interested in. He said about halfway through medical school he just couldn't do it anymore. It wasn't for him. He told me that he really wished he would have done more things and explored more options in his undergrad so that he would have saved himself more time and money. John told me to share his story with my students so they can learn from his mistakes. He told me to encourage my students to try new things, to explore their interests, see what they're passionate about. I hope you've learned something from John's story. I'd like to leave with a question. What are you passionate about?